I'll never forget the day my friend's car refused to stop flashing its check engine light. Panic set in. Visions of $1,000 repairs danced in his head. But instead of heading to the dealer, we tried something so simple it almost seemed too good to be true. An OBD2 reset. 5 minutes later, the light was gone, and the car was running perfectly again. The story doesn't end there though, because the real lesson wasn't just how to turn the light off, it was how to tell when that light is lying to you. Before we move on, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel and like the video. Why is it that the second that little orange icon turns on, drivers instantly assume the worst? You've probably felt it yourself. One tiny light on the dashboard can spark images of blown engines, transmissions being stripped apart, or bills that reach into the thousands. It doesn't matter if the car feels fine, that glow convinces a lot of people they're about to get bad news. This reaction has been built up over years. Drivers are almost conditioned to fear this light, treating it as a sign of a major mechanical failure every single time it appears. But here's the thing. Many times that light doesn't mean a disaster at all. In reality, the most common causes can be embarrassingly small. One of the biggest culprits is nothing more serious than a gas cap that isn't tightened enough after a fill-up. That small gap can trigger a sensor and set the light off, even though nothing is mechanically wrong with the car. In fact, temporary glitches in the electrical or fuel system can spark the same response. A brief hiccup while driving on a bumpy road can register as a fault, even though the car fixed itself instantly. Yet the light still stays on, making the driver believe something's failing underneath the hood. Take a real-world case. A driver I know went to a dealership after his check engine light had been glowing for a week. The car wasn't running rough, no strange noises, no smoke, nothing to suggest a dying engine. Still, he didn't want to take chances. The dealer hooked up a computer, saw a handful of old codes, misfires that had happened for a second weeks earlier, and handed him a bill for over $200. The repair was simply clearing those codes from the system. Nothing actually needed fixing. All he paid for was someone hitting reset on a computer screen. Dealerships and repair shops count on this. They advertise diagnostic fees that sound technical and advanced, which makes drivers think specialized knowledge is being applied. Often though, the fee is just for plugging in a tool and pressing a button. The car owner still shakes while waiting, assuming it could mean a new catalytic converter, faulty sensors, or major labor hours. Meanwhile, the shop collects money off that fear, without ever touching a wrench or replacing a single part. It's a business built on the mismatch between what people believe and what's actually happening inside their engine bay. Modern cars make this problem worse in some ways. The engine control unit, or ECU, doesn't just show live issues. It also stores what are called history codes. That means even if the problem happened once, then immediately corrected itself, the code lingers. The check engine light might turn off later, but a stored code stays in the system until a reset is done. If you go into a shop with those history codes, you'll be told your car had faults. True enough, but not evidence of something actively wrong today. It's like your car telling you it caught a cold last month, and now you're paying a doctor to confirm you no longer have symptoms. What makes all of this so frustrating is the outdated idea that drivers need professionals every time the light comes on. Years ago, that was true. You needed equipment and training to interpret what the computer reported. But today, that lock-on knowledge doesn't exist. Affordable tools can now reveal the truth directly to you. Yet drivers who haven't updated their mindset still trust the old narrative, walking straight into shops the moment the light shines. The reality is simple. The check engine light doesn't always spell doom. Sometimes it's nothing more than your car asking for a reset. The challenge is figuring out which situation you're in. And that's where things get interesting, because once you know how to check for yourself, that intimidating light becomes nothing more than information you control. So how exactly can you tell the difference at home without calling in a mechanic? That's where the real trick starts. What if you could figure out whether your car actually needed a mechanic in less than 5 minutes? That's not an exaggeration, it's a real possibility, and it doesn't take secret knowledge or special permission to do it. The tool that makes it possible is called an OBD2 scanner, and it's something most people have heard of, but very few have actually used. This little handheld device is the real key behind that mysterious check engine light. It speaks the same language your car's computer does, and once you know how to use it, you'll see that the light on your dashboard isn't some final verdict. It's only a starting clue. The scanner itself connects to a port that's already built into every car made since the mid-90s. Usually it's under the steering wheel, right near your knees. You plug the scanner in, turn your key to the on position without starting the engine, and the device immediately wakes up and taps into the car's brain. Within seconds, it begins showing codes stored inside the ECU. These codes represent any irregularities the sensors in your car have picked up, from something small like excess fuel in one cylinder to a more serious issue like an oxygen sensor struggling to read correctly. Most drivers never take advantage of this because they assume you need professional training to understand what those codes mean. That's what repair shops want you to believe. But the truth is, scanners are designed to be easy to use. They display a short alphanumeric sequence like P0301 or P0440, and a simple description right next to it. You don't need a mechanic standing over you to translate every detail. When you see cylinder 1 misfire detected or evaporative emission control system leak detected, it's already giving you more clarity than the glowing check engine light by itself. Here's the step-by-step that surprises most people. You plug the scanner in, press read codes, and it scans the system. You'll see if the problem is live or just stored as history. Then, with a single button, you can clear those codes. That's it. You haven't touched a wrench, you haven't crawled under the car, and you haven't handed over a single dollar to a shop yet. But you've already done what most mechanics will charge a fee for: confirming what set the light in the first place and wiping old errors clean. I know someone who did this just last month. His car flashed the light one morning, showing a code for a random misfire. He plugged in a scanner, pressed clear, and watched the light vanish instantly. He kept driving the car for weeks, waiting to see if the code would return. It never did. That misfire was a momentary glitch, the kind of hiccup every engine has from time to time. If he had followed the old playbook, he would have wasted money at a shop for a problem that fixed itself. This points to the real power of the scanner. Resetting the codes isn't just about turning off the annoying light. It's a test. If the light stays off after you clear it, you know the issue was temporary. If it returns quickly, that's when you know it's time to pay attention and possibly plan for a repair. The reset isn't masking the truth. It's separating false alarms from genuine problems. An inexpensive OBD2 scanner puts that power in your hands. The next time the light shows up, plug it in, read the codes, and clear them yourself. Wait and see if the problem returns. Because the real fix isn't hidden in a shop's diagnostic fee. It's knowing when your car is truly broken and when it just needs a reset.